We are compelled to invite you to correct the deliberate falsehoods put out by the NDC General Secretary, Mr. Edwin Ketia, yesterday in his press conference about forensic audit of some institutions that is ongoing. It appears Mr. Edwin Ketia is on a mission to make noise and hopefully boost his flagging campaign for re-election. Otherwise, no logical explanation comes easily to mind for his antics. Exhibited one in a full-blown press conference and furthermore on other media extempore throughout yesterday and indeed this morning. We want to say that most of what he delivered were deliberate lies. Speculative half-truths and deliberate lies concocted in the pot of his febrile imagination. And these he could easily have verified from the relevant sources. One of the biggest lies told by the NDC General Secretary was that His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in visiting flood victims to distribute relief items, used a helicopter from the Ghana National Gas Company. Lie. Very big lie. On the contrary, the Vice President used a Ghana Air Force helicopter with identity mark GHF 696. That craft is totally different in model and make from the Z9EH helicopters that the Ghana National Gas Company is purported to have purchased, and the acquisition of which is part of the ongoing forensic audit process in that particular agency of government. But perhaps we suspect there's a real reason why the NDC is attempting to misinform the public. Is the NDC seeking to preempt the results of those ongoing forensic audits? Because in our political history, the resort to witch hunting, accusations of witch hunting, is supposed to stop any further actions to elicit public accountability. Short of seeking to circumvent and prevent the law from taking its course, it beats the imagination why the NDC is rushing to discredit investigations which are yet to feed into potential prosecutions. This is the same party which barely recently boasted and challenged the whole world to prosecute them if they were found to be corrupt. What has changed now that there is a realization of serious ongoing investigations to ensure successful prosecutions? The facts of the forensic audit has been put out already by the Ministry of Information, but for emphasis, permit me to restate them here. And the statement, as you are all aware, was serially numbered. In one, it explains that the audits were started in 2017 by IOCO in pursuit of its mandate under Section 3A of the IOCO Act of 2010. That's Act 804. And in accordance with Section 14.3 of Act 804, IOCO engaged experts to conduct preliminary audits and advise IOCO on reports of corruption and malpractices in some state organizations. The reports have since been channeled through the Cabinet Ad Hoc Committee on Investigations. 2, the government did not spend $6.8 million on the audits, as has been deliberately and falsely put out. The UNDP only provided technical assistance to the office coordinating the results, the audits. This is in line with Section 3F of the IOCO Act, which allows IOCO to seek technical cooperation from international sources. The technical support from the UNDP is part of that is UNDP's anti-corruption support and governance project, and from our understanding, cost less than $100,000. The mention, we believe, of $6.8 million is a total red herring aimed at diverting attention from the substantive findings of the forensic audit and the genuine questions that persons found culpable may have to answer as part of the investigative processes of IOCO. And I want you to please note that the institutions involved are paying for the forensic audits. It would serve the public well if Mr. Sidi Nketia could be humble enough to apologize for bringing the UNDP and the government into disrepute on the basis of a wild, reckless guess, or at least reveal his source for that information. Otherwise, we again humbly plead with him to hold his horses, rein in the reckless and misguided pronouncements. Indeed, rumor-mongering cannot be a substitute for information and lies. Neither will it protect you from accountability. 3. Yoko, having been advised, has completed reports of some of the investigations, whilst others are ongoing. We hope the blanket call by, again, Mr. Siedu Nketia, to appointees of the former administration not to cooperate with investigations will not be followed literally by those appointees, because a preemptive attempt to escape accountability and the screaming smoke screen of witch hunting will not convince the Ghanaian public. The public deserves to see the constitutional standard of probity and accountability upheld by appointees of the former administration. Those who conducted themselves well ought not to be afraid of accountability measures. It is in that light that the new Patriotic Party, as a political organization interested in the future of this country, is calling on the government to expedite dockets that are ready and prosecute those dockets so that the public can see that the job of accountability is going on as the public expects. 4. The Akufo-Addo administration, and this is from the statement, will continue to strengthen anti-corruption agencies as part of concrete efforts to rid the Ghanaian system of corruption. 5. Respondents should be eager to provide answers to the substantive findings in the audit reports in order to clear their names and reputations, rather than seek to hide behind a public relations exercise designed to obfuscate issues and avoid accountability. Please note that it's an ongoing exercise, and it's in the interest of those who believe they are innocent, those who serve this country well, to participate and absolve themselves of the happenings that are being found out through these investigative processes. The NPP at this stage applauds the government for this action. As a party in government, we hold the view that having come this far on the path of constitutional governance, it is not enough to shout corruption. Hard evidence must be found and adduced through due process if we are to tackle the menace of corruption with sincerity. In the same vein, we do not expect self-respecting servants of any government to resort to polemic stunts aimed at diligent interrogation of their tenures of office, since such actions will not and cannot stop appropriate accountability measures. We hope Mr. Siedu Nketia is not allergic to facts. In any case, who is he trying to shield from the flames of accountability? Is it the entire Mahama administration, or characters thick in the purported plots to create loot and share? Schemes to create loot and share have been allegedly so well executed that many contracts inherited by the current administration appear lawful, but in effect are bloated well beyond value for money limits. In conclusion, we wish to state our revulsion at the personal attacks on the person of Professor Edward Duajimai. Nearly half of the NDC's press conference was devoted to casting aspersions on the personality of the gentleman. Further appearances on various media by Mr. Siedu Nketia followed the same trend. We can only hope that the gentleman resorts to the appropriate quarters in defense of his name, but we are also constrained to urge him fervently not to relent in his service to the nation. We do not intend to go down the path of contestation about the role of the Auditor General, an invitation unnecessarily flagged by the NDC in order to divert us from the core essence of what we are involved in. It is unnecessary because neither the Constitution nor the Audit Service Act is a barrier to the conduct of forensic investigations by agencies clothed with investigatory and/or prosecutorial powers. As to his further assertion, Mr. Nketia's assertion, about recognizing the existence of cognate institutions of state with investigative powers, and that we ought to have used those institutions in the investigations, we say to him, thanks, but no thanks. They had their chance. They chose to misgovern in supreme and blissful incompetence. Please, the NDC should allow us to fulfill our compact with the Ghanaian people. We are serious government. We are a serious party. We are using diligent means and the best at our disposal to serve the interests of Ghanaians in ensuring accountability and responsiveness to the duty of upholding the public trust. Thank you very much for your attention and your support.